Good morning, students. How are you? I think you all are fine. So yesterday I had started the first chapter of First Flight, that is a letter to God. I think the concept of the chapter is clear to all the students. In this chapter we had read yesterday that Lencho was a farmer and he was thinking about a good crop. He was thinking about the rain. For the whole day he was praying to God for rain. But there was rain, but soon the rain converted into hailstones. So all his hopes dashed into ground because he was thinking for a good crop only due to rain. The hailstones destroyed the whole crop. I think up till here the chapter was clear to everyone. Then I had given you questions also. I want you all to note down the questions either in fair notebook or you can make the notes also. Whatsoever is possible for you. So let us continue now. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope, help from God. So in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, solitary means alone. Why is the house solitary? Because it was alone on the hilltop. So in the heart of all the people who were living in that house, there was only one hope, and that hope was the help from the God. Don't be so upset. Even though this seems like total loss, remember no one dies of hunger. Now Lencho was thinking, and he was saying to himself, or his wife must be saying to him, don't be so upset even though this seems like total loss. In the time of loss also, husband and wife were thinking of not to be upset as they were remembering the words of the old people that no one dies of hunger. Whosoever takes birth in this world gets something to eat always. That's what they say, no one dies of hunger. So we can compare this line with the time which is going on these days. If the poor people who get the money after doing the work on the day, means who get the money for daily wages, even those people are also getting the food, because some people who are rich, who are wealthy, they are providing the food to these poor people. So this is the best example to be compared with the time which is going on these days. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help from God. But Lencho had complete faith in God, and he was thinking of the help from God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Conscience is the moral sense. So Lencho had thought that God sees everything because God is omnipresent. So he thinks that God knows my situation well. Lencho was an ox of a man. Ox of a man means Lencho was a very hard-working man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. He was a hard worker, but he was not illiterate. He was little bit literate and he knew how to write. The following Sunday at the daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. So he wrote a letter for God and he thought of posting it himself. It was nothing less than a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go this year. I will go hungry this year. And in the letter he wrote to God, dear God, if you will not help us, then I and my family will remain hungry. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again. And as you know that my field, my crop is destroyed now, so I want 100 pesos to sow my field again. Peso is the currency of several Latin American countries. So he thought that I need 100 pesos to sow my field and to get the crop and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, after hailstorm there is dash dash. It means that because you know that the hailstorm has destroyed my crop. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. So he kept the letter in the envelope, and on the envelope he wrote the address, and the address was to God. At the post office he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. But as you all know that to post the letter we need a stamp. So he affixed the stamp on the letter and put the letter in the mailbox. One of the employees who was a postman and also helped at the post office. So one employee who was the postman and who was also working in other works of the post office went to his boss laughing heartily. He laughed heartily means वो खुल के हंसा and went to the postmaster. फिर postmaster के पास गया and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. And in his whole career as a postman, he had never seen this address. Means none had written a letter to God. The postmaster, a fat, amiable means friendly and pleasant by nature, fellow, also broke out laughing. He also laughed a lot, but almost immediately he turned serious. But immediately he became serious and tapping the letter on his desk. Tapping means to hit something. He threw the letter. He kept the letter on the desk, which made some noise. He commented, what faith, he said that, what the faith of the person in God. I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. So he says that I think I need to fulfill the faith of this man who has written the letter, starting up a correspondence with God. He said that I will surely fulfill the demand of that man who has a firm belief in God and who had started correspondence with God. So in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, so he didn't want to move the faith of this person. The writer was Lancho. So he didn't want to move the faith of Lancho from God. And so the postmaster came up with an idea, answer the letter. So he wanted to write an answer. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill. But it was clear that before answering, he needs some goodwill from the man to whom he was writing and the goodwill of other persons. And ink and paper was also needed. But he stuck to his resolution. But he was firm of whatsoever he had thought. He asked for the money from his employees. He wanted the help of his employees also. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. चैरिटी क्या होता है? जब हम किसी की हेल्प करते हैं, पैसा इकट्ठा करके किसी को देते हैं, तो वो क्या बन जाती है? चैरिटी बन जाती है. सो he asked his employees to give him some help to give to that man Lencho in the form of charity. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half. Half of 100 is 50. Little more than half means can be 60, 70. So when he couldn't gather 100 pesos, he gathered 60 or 70 pesos. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho, and with it a letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. And after writing the letter, he put the signatures, God. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him, and the following Sunday Lencho came and asked for his letter. It was the postman himself who handed the letter to him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of the man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Now, postman had given the money. Postman had given the envelope to the farmer Lencho, and postmaster was seeing everything from inside. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Lencho was not surprised when he saw the money in the envelope. Such was his confidence. It was his confidence. He was confident that God will surely give him some money. That's why he was not surprised to see the money. But he became angry when he counted the money, because he was expecting 100 pesos, but it was less than 100. Immediately, Lencho went up to window to ask for paper and ink on the public writing table. Again, he took a paper and went to the public writing table. He started to write with much wrinkling of his brow. Brow is the eyebrow. By wrinkling his eyebrows, and caused by the effort he had to make to express his ideas, means by making the wrinkles on his forehead, he wrote his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp, which he licked. Licked means to move your tongue. He moved his tongue on the stamp and affixed it on the envelope, and the blow of his fist, and he hit the envelope hardly with his fist. The moment the letter fell into the mailbox, the postmaster went to open it, and as soon as he went back after posting the mail, the postmaster again went near the mailbox and he took out the letter. When he took out the envelope, he read the letter. He was also surprised that it was saying, God, of the money that I asked for only 70 pesos reached me. Send me the rest. He said that I have received only 70 pesos instead of 100 pesos. Send me the rest of the money since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Crooks are the dishonest people. So he said that now you are requested to send me the money not through the mail, but give the money to me directly, because I have received only 70 pesos and 30 pesos have been taken by the employees of the post office, as they are very honest people. It is a group of honest people. Lencho. So now students, I will send you the question answers also. There are 3 questions here and 2 here. You will again note down the questions, and if you are having any query, you can call me. I have given you the timing of calling the teachers. Thank you.